Hey guys, Wizard Oak here, and we of course want to say something. I really like sports. I'm not basically a sport enthusiastic in myself. Even though I know, I do Magic the Gathering and some other gaming concept, but if you think of that, sports is definitely something we all love and enjoy. I mean, think about it. Without any other sports, we won't have some of these awesome games at all. But even of course, this is not what I'm going to talk about games that sports that's influencing gaming, but I want to talk about the craziness of sports. Yeah, I mean, think about it. How crazy can sports go to? I mean, in the bad, the good, real ugly side of sports, but even the crazy level of it. Like, how badly crazy this can go, and how insane will drive everyone nuts about it. Even, of course, I'm going to discuss about one guy today, of course. I'm going to, do this type of thing for every week, so yeah, this is going to be a new thing. So each subject is going to be on each personality or even the whole team. So here we go. We're going to discuss about the tragedy of Andre Escobar. Yes, Andre Escobar is some of you kids. If none of you kids ever lived through the 90s, like myself, which I'm born in 1982, I basically, of course, know some things or two back in the 90s, and there's some things I kind of discovering things from the 90s, like some ridiculous moments happening in sports. Sometimes stuff that happened really weird back in the 90s, because the 90s was a ridiculous decade. Yeah, I mean, look, we maybe back in the 90s maybe have Lion King, and if really bad Hollywood movies. Example, Independence Day. Even though that goddamn line, that goddamn speech was awesome, and even mostly every kid from the 90s know a thing or two about sports. So yeah, basically we're going to talk about the World Cup. Yeah, during the hype of the World Cup at 1984, which was hosted in the US. So if you're going to ask why I'm bringing up this about US and the World Cup, well, there is an international team called Colombia. Which, of course, if you obviously know, if some of you kids of today probably watch Netflix and chilling out by watching their cuddles, yes, that's the place I'm talking about. Even, of course, back in the 90s, of course, when Colombia is still struggling after the whole Pablo Escobar, and or, of course, other bigger elite drug cartels afterwards. There was one person back at the 80s to the 90s was well against this whole plague of drugs and violence and you name it, destroying the very image of his country. So, even of course he is just a footballer, but he's not just any footballer. He is Andre Escobar, one of the greatest defenders from his nation ever live. I mean, the guy is a freaking legend. I mean, like I said, he up against the drug cartels. He wanted to build better lives for the kids in poor states and stop them going to all these drug cartel gangs and all that, and selling drugs and cocaine or whatever. We don't want that to all those kids. And even, of course, he is a well gentleman, and best about it, he is the greatest defender from his nation. And yet he is the best good looking guy from his country. Just think about it. Look at that face. Can you just say no to it, ladies? Like, even though I'm straight, but I'm just saying, I'm just asking you girls and lads about it. But even, of course, I want to say, why I gonna say his life is a tragedy? And even though he is like, got like more or less everything that the drug cartel don't have, but until 1994, which of course, like I said, it was the hype of the World Cup. US against Colombia in the second round, and Colombia is basically, of course, is up against them, and yet they're their favorites. I mean, Colombia is the big favorite to win, and yet they lost. It's a pretty crucial match, but how they lost? Because basically, like I said, this is of course a tragedy. Andre Escobar accidentally scored an own goal. Yeah, he scored an own goal accidentally because he defected a goal. Trying to defect a goal, and yet it just went in for a goal. He just trying to defend the net. As you notice, like take a close look at it. Have you noticed, of course, the two players? He in between the two US players. Of course, one is trying to pass in the crossway to him, but Escobar does intervene, but it backfires right in the net, and you can't believe what happened. Escobar was really embarrassed. He was so embarrassed, he basically left a mark on his legacy. And even worse about it, he's a laughingstock now because of what happened. But even, of course, afterward, the whole aftermath of it, it's gonna be more terrible and tragedy for Escobar. And here's why. Escobar, of course, was asked if he wanted to go to Las Vegas, just, for tearing up even their defeat in the World Cup since they got knocked out in the group stages. Escobar declined, even though his family, his friends, and of course the whole teams will be there, but he just want to go home after still feeling being embarrassed after what happened. So he, like I said, he just went home. And a month later, of course, after all that, he busy, of course, having a drink, and probably more, with his friends. Then after all that drinking, he went to the car park and being approached by 3 men at his car. Of course, 3 of those men are happen to be with for it. They're part of the drugs cartels. And yet, why they approach him? Is it because he against the cartels? It's never about the cartels. It's more about the bet. They argue like, it's because of you I lost my money and I could win $10,000 over it. They lost the bet because Escobar scored an own goal, blaming him for what happening. And yet, what they did to him after the whole argument? 2 of them pulled out a gun and shot 3 times at him, or 6. Some say it's 3, some say it's 6, and shouted, "Go, go, go, go! Each time they said it shouldn't happen." And yet, Escobar lying on the ground, pouring out the blood from his own body. Of course, I know it's so graphic by saying that bit, but even though I can't put it in because of YouTube, no offense, my overlords, please respect me, I'm only new. Even of course, after being rescued by, of course, witness of the scene, They take him obviously to the hospital, but turn out it's too late. Well, they trying to help save him. He was declared dead after 45 minutes after being shot. It was terrible what happened to him. I mean, Escobar was like the nation hero, and now he is a martyr. What happened to him? It's terrible what happened. I mean, he just dared to play a game. Just a fair game, and even though he lost by his own mistake, but he just wanted to play what he loved. I mean, he got everything now. Well, not now, but it's taken away from him. Because over a lazy bet. I mean, yeah, true, Colombia could win, but did us, the old phrase says, shit happens. And yet, even of course, all that, the whole aftermath of his death, the whole legacy, of course, are all in question. How he's going to be remembered. Will they remember him for the footballer who being shot by, of course, gangsters for over a bet? Or will he known for another way? Because, of course, his family decided, after his funeral, which of course attended by tens of thousands of people attended it, they decided to create a charity organization, which of course is still on by this day, which they call it Andre Escobar Foundation. Of course, the whole foundation, of course, is worse. Focus on the kids to get them into football instead of the whole drug situation in the country at the time. Even though maybe it's still happening, I don't know much about it. But even of course, they agree. They all agree. His brother agree, even though he is a manager of a football team now, which they both, him and his brother Escobar, of course, Andrew Escobar, were in, and he created a program in it for helping those kids get into football, and even of course also helping get other teams to join him as well. And even of course his wife, his beautiful wife, even though I don't have the full of her, but she basically also helped the whole organization, even though she is widowed over it, even though she was happened to be married to the same man at the same year. But it's just all that's like taken away that. Even though it's relatable, even for a widow, just lost everything from the man she loved. Not just his money, not just his fame, it's just his passion. His passion, his dream, his image to change his country around the state of the whole drug states. And yet, after all that, they also discovered this is, which of course is so true. Of course, one of the gunmen is arrested on the same night of his death. Yeah, this is true. He actually openly admitted his crimes. He just said, yes, I killed him. I killed him over a bet. That's it. But of course, it was shocking. Even though he didn't, we feel he's the other two who basically got involved with him, with the whole murder basically. But yet, now he is basically released from prison because he served 11 years in prison, but was given over like 23 years, but 11 he got out. 11 years. And yet he's not telling anyone or like what type of cartel he is from, or what even what other stuff as well. Like he kept it zip, like one of those code of honor kind of things. But yet, with all that now, people are still remembering his name every time Colombia played in the international matches, any international matches, families, the World Cup, or anything at all. They still remember him on this day. All I care is I want to share the story. Because it is craziness, but it's a really bad craziness. I mean, getting killed over a match, a bet, that's it. I mean, yeah, there's other people got killed, and some are suspiciously got murdered over it. Like example, there is a cricket coach for the Pakistan. I get evil if I say it right. God damn it. But I will probably show the flag, anyways. He basically suspiciously be murdered in his hotel, which of course some people suspect maybe got blamed over a gamble in bed or something. But I mean, I will discuss that some other time because that's actually really crazy. But even though this is, of course, is something I want to do now. So yeah, don't worry. If you guys are really into Magic the Gathering, I will talk about that in the next time. Like, even though with the whole Beyond Death. But I will say this, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, please subscribe, like, drop a comment, and even of course, if you got like a crazy sports story you want to share, like no one knows about, I will literally check that out. I know there's a ton on my list I need to talk about, like the good, the bad, the ugliness of it. So yeah, so just subscribe if you want to see more of it. So I will see you guys next time.